Hey Bookaholics, and welcome back to another video. Today I am bringing you my October TBR. Throughout the month of October, I am planning, of course, of leaning into the Samhain season, and I am planning on doing so with some various different types of vlog projects. I can't guarantee that all of these vlogs will see the light of day. There's a lot of things that I've got planned on here, so we'll have to see, but this is my provisional plan. I do have, obviously, a TBR for these vlogs, but the first one is one I cannot plan for because that is my spinner wheel vlog, and my spinner wheel is obviously random, and I just get to read whatever the spinner wheel chooses for me. This one is going to be slightly different to my usual because it is going to be Samhain themed. So for this one, we have cozy books, we have atmospheric books, and we have scary books. That's kind of the plan. The vibes of autumn all are my choices. So hopefully this one works out well for me. I'm really excited for pretty much everything that is going to be in the pots to choose. So hopefully it will go according to plan and I'll be able to read quite a varied type of autumnal books. The next thing that would be prudent to talk about, I suppose, would be my book clubs. And I have 2 book clubs currently over on my Discord, which is always linked in the description box. I have my sci-fi book club, which is where we read one standalone sci-fi every single month. And this month's one was picked by my friend Rebecca, and that is Hum by Helen Phillips. This one is a slightly thriller-ish sci-fi, I believe, and I am excited to give this one a go. The synopsis for this one goes: in a hot and gritty metropolis populated by both people and super intelligent robots called Hums, May seeks a reprieve from recent hardships and from her family's addiction to their devices. She splurges on a weekend away to the Botanical Garden, a rare green refuge in the heart of the city, where forests, streams, and animals flourish. But when it becomes clear that the garden is not the ideal that she hoped it would be, and her children come under threat, May is forced to put her trust in a Hum of uncertain motives in order to restore the life of her family. I am really excited to give this one a go, and it's nice and short, which is a good contrast to last month's one as well. So yeah, hopefully I will have a great time with this. I will be spoiler vlogging it as I do with all of my sci-fi book club picks. Hopefully we have a good time with this one. The other book club that I have is my fantasy book club, which, like most fantasy book clubs, is a bi-monthly book club in which we are working our way through a series. The series that we are going to be starting in this autumn is going to be the Rook and Rose series, with this first book, A Mask of Mirrors, being the book for both October and November. Whether or not I read this in October or November is yet to be seen. It will see how my vlog projects go. But Mask of Mirrors is a joint author pen name, I believe, one of whom is Marie Brennan, who is the author of the Lady Trent series, one of my favourite series. So I have very high hopes for this trilogy. The synopsis for this one is that we have a young woman who is in this Venetian-inspired fantasy setting, and she is trying to claim familial links to this rich, prosperous, supposedly prosperous family so that she can pass off as one of their kin and elevate her status in life. However, she has chosen exactly the wrong family because this family is currently facing bankruptcy and they are very suspicious of outsiders. So we are seeing how this con is affecting both parties. I am very excited to get into this. It's lovely and chunky, and I'm really hoping that I fall as in love with this as everyone else has. My next vlog project is going to be reading monster fiction. So I want to read retellings of Gothic monsters. The first one that I have is Our Hideous Progeny by C.E. McGill. This one is a Frankenstein retelling, and I believe that it is following one of Victor Frankenstein's descendants. The synopsis goes: Mary is the great niece of Victor Frankenstein. She knows her great uncle disappeared in mysterious circumstances in the Arctic, but she doesn't know why or how. The 1850s is a time of discovery, and London is ablaze with the latest scientific theories and debates. Mary, with a sharp mind and a sharper tongue, is keen to make her name in the world of science, but as a woman without wealth or connections, her options are limited. Then comes the discovery. Among some old family papers, Mary finds notes that allude to a shocking truth behind her great uncle's past. But might they also hold the key to her future? Mary's quest takes her to the wilds of Scotland and a deadly castle with a rival who is out to steal her secret. I am very excited for this one. I'm not gonna lie. Hopefully I will love it. I've heard good things. The next one that I have is a Dracula retelling. This is Dracul by J.D. Barker. This one is, I believe, conflating the life of both the author and the subject matter, but I'm not sure, so let's read the synopsis. It's 1868. and a 21-year-old Bram Stoker has locked himself inside an abbey's tower to face off against a vile and ungodly beast. He is armed with mirrors and crucifixes and holy water and a gun, and is kept company by a bottle of plum brandy. His fervent prayer is that he will survive this one night, a night that will prove to be the longest of his life. Desperate to leave a record of what he has witnessed, the young man scribbles down the events that have brought him to this point and tells an extraordinary tale of childhood illness, a mysterious nanny, and stories once thought to be fables now proved to be true. Again, not necessarily following Dracula, but I think Dracula's the main villain, so it's gonna be fun. And the last one that I have is probably the most popular one on here, and that is a Carmilla retelling, which is An Education in Malice by S.T. Gibson. Now, S.T. Gibson wrote A Dowry of Blood, which I absolutely loved, and this is a companion-ish novel to that one, so I'm hoping that I will love this one just as much. I did like Carmilla. I didn't love it as much as I was hoping to, given that it's sapphic vampires, but I am excited to give a Carmilla retelling a shot. I believe this one is also dark academia, so the synopsis goes: deep in the forgotten hills of Massachusetts stands St. Perpetua's College. Isolated and ancient, it is not a place for timid girls. Here, secrets are currency, ambition is lifeblood, and strange ceremonies welcome students into the fold. On her first night of class, Laura Sheridan is thrust into an intense academic rivalry with the beautiful and enigmatic Carmilla. Together they are drawn into the confidence of their demanding poetry professor, who holds his own dark obsession with Carmilla. But as their rivalry blossoms into something far more delicious, Laura must confront her own strange hungers. Tangled in a sinister game of politics, bloodthirsty professors, and dark magic, Laura and Carmilla must decide how much they are willing to sacrifice in their ruthless pursuit of knowledge. Very excited. Sounds very dark academia-y. Hopefully I will love it. On the complete opposite end of the spectrum, we have my romance vlog, because I'm bringing back all of my vlog projects at once. I decided I would do a kind of seasonal romance vlog where I'm going to be doing the witchy, urban fantasy, cozy romances, just to see how I fare with them. So the first one that I have is the one that has taken everyone by storm in the last couple of years, and that is Rewitched by Lucy Jane Woods. This one, I believe, is less high on the romance, more focused on just the character, but there is enough romance in there that I can squeeze it into a romance vlog from what I can tell. The story for this one is Belladonna Blackthorn hasn't lost her magic spark, but she hasn't seen it in a while either. Balancing work and her beloved London bookshop, Luna Books, while handling her toxic boss and concealing her witchcraft from those around her, Belle is burnt out. Perfecting the potential of her magic is the last thing on her mind. When her 30th birthday brings a summons from her coven and the trial that tests her worthiness as a witch, Belle risks losing her magic forever. With the month of October to fix things and signs that dark forces may be working against her, Belle will need all the help she can get. From the women in her life, from an unlikely mentor figure, and even from an infuriating coven watchman who's sworn to protect her. I'm very excited for this one. It does sound cute. The next potential romance that I have is going to be A Witch's Guide to Fake Dating a Demon by Sarah Hawley. This is a series of companion novels, so I'm really hoping I like this so I can get into it. I know that the sequel to Rewitched has come out as well, so you know, all of this is opening potential doors for me to continue reading some more of these cozy romances if I like them. The story for this one is Mariel is prophesied to be the most powerful witch seen in centuries, but she prefers baking bread to brewing potions. When a spell goes very wrong, Mariel finds herself staring down at a demon, one she inadvertently summoned for a soul bargain. Osroth the Ruthless is a legend among his kind, but ever since a bargain went awry, he's been a laughingstock. A deal with Mariel could earn back his deadly reputation. However, getting Mariel to sign over her soul is going to be a lot harder than anticipated. Osroth can't leave her side until she makes a deal, and becoming awkward roommates quickly escalates into real attraction. But Osroth is running out of time, and if he succeeds, he'll damn Mariel and their chances at love in the process. Sounds very cool. I do love me a demon romance. I mean, normally I like the really smutty ones, but we'll see how I fare with a cozy one. The next one that I have is actually the last book in a series that I have read, and this is Hex and Hexability by Kate Johnson, which is the third book in the Best Hex Ever series, which started with the Hex Appeal. This series is a load of like companion novels that just have overlapping vibes and the occasional overlapping character, I believe. So I don't know anything about this one particularly, but it does look like it's Regency instead, which is very cute. So we'll see how I fare. The synopsis for this one says, Lady Tiffany Worthington has always had a special talent for making the world around her come to life, whether she wants it to or not. But it's only with the arrival of her mysterious great-aunt Esme on the eve of the Battle of Waterloo that she learns she's a witch, and that the magic she's long feared is actually a gift to be embraced. Now, as she's exposed to the side of London she never knew existed, one with sea creatures, magical portals, time travel, and a handsome duke from a faraway land with a dashing scar that makes him look like a pirate, Lady Tiffany discovers that despite what the ton might decree, there is no limit to what she can do or who she can be. Very excited. It's probably the one I, synopsis-wise, am least excited out of these so far, but it's still, it's Regency and it's cheesy, and I'm always in the mood for Regency. It's like my favourite thing. I'm not even slightly sorry. And then the very last one that I have is Payback's a Witch by Lana Harper. This one is another one that I know nothing about other than that it was recommended, and it seems to be very popular, and it seems that there's quite a few books in this series, so again, opens a whole floodgate of things for me to read. The synopsis for this one goes, Emily Harlow is a witch in exile. She hasn't been home to her magical town of Thistlegrove in years, which has a lot to do with a complicated family history and a desire to forge her own way in the world, and only the very thinnest bit to do with Gareth Blackmore, heir to the most powerful magical family in town, casual breaker of hearts, and destroyer of dreams. But when a spellcasting tournament approaches, it turns out the pull of tradition, or the truly impressive parental guilt trip that comes with it, is strong enough to bring Emily back. She's determined to do her familial duty, spend some quality time with her best friend Lyndon Thorne, and then get back to her real life in Chicago. On her first night home, Emily runs into Talia Avramov, an all-around badass adept in the dark magical arts, who is fresh off a bad breakup with Gareth Blackmore. Talia had let herself be charmed, only to discover that Gareth was also seeing Lyndon, unbeknownst to either of them, and now she and Lyndon want revenge. Only one question stands. Is Emily in? But most concerning of all, why can't she stop thinking about the terrifyingly competent, devastatingly gorgeous, wickedly charming Talia Avramov? So Sapphic Witches and a John Tucker Must Die vibe, here for it. I am here for it. Those are the 4 romances that I plan on reading, which again, very exciting, very much looking forward to. And then I only have one other vlog project, which is quite enough, I would say, because this is a lot of books. And again, that's not even including the spinner wheel. Hence why I said I'm not sure that all of these are going to get done, but at least some of them will. The last vlog project that I have in mind is that I am going to try doing a black horror reading vlog. In the UK, October is actually Black History Month, unlike in the US, which is when it's normally celebrated in February. Ours is in October. I don't normally do Blackathon in October because I do like doing the seasonal reading, and I do always do Blackathon in February. But I do think it's important to commemorate Black History Month in my own country. So I decided that I would combine the two, and I will read some horror books written by Black authors. So I have 3 here on the list. The first one that I have is the only physical one that I have, and that is The Changeling by Victor LaValle. I read Lone Woman by Victor LaValle, and I did really enjoy it. The ending didn't quite work for me, but I do really appreciate what he was doing with the book, and I think that the writing overall was still really good. So I'm really excited to see what he does within the paranormal sphere. The synopsis of this one goes, when Apollo Kagwa was just a child, his father disappeared, leaving him with recurring nightmares and a box labelled Improbabilia. Now a successful book dealer, Kagwa has a family of his own after meeting and falling in love with Emma, a librarian. The two marry and have a baby. So far, so happily ever after. However, as the pair settle into their new lives as parents, exhaustion and anxiety start to take their toll. Emma's behaviour becomes increasingly erratic until one day she commits an unthinkable act, setting Apollo on a wild and fantastical quest through a suddenly otherworldly New York in search of a wife and child he no longer recognises. An epic novel for our anxiety-ridden times, The Changeling is a tale of parenthood, love in its most raw and brutal form, and ultimately humanity. I'm very excited for this. It does sound like it's going to be very unsettling, which is what you want from a horror book. This also does have a TV series adaptation or a movie. It has some kind of adaptation. So I will probably read the book and then watch the adaptation, which sounds like it'll be a lot of fun. The next one that I have is The Reformatory by Tanara Reeve. This one is, I believe, a kind of haunted house vibe horror. The synopsis for this one says, Jim Crow, Florida, 1950. 12-year-old Robert Stevens Jr., who, for a trivial scuffle with a white boy, is sent to the Gracetown School for Boys boys, but the segregated reformatory is a chamber of horrors, haunted by the boys who have died there. In order to survive the school governor and his funhouse, Robert must enlist the help of the school's ghosts. Only they have their own motivations. Sounds great. Sounds like a lot of fun. I can't wait to get to this. It sounds like it's going to be rather traumatic as well as rather spooky. And I do love me a horror that also has some really rich themes going on within it. So hopefully that one pulls through. I have very high hopes for that one. And the last one that I have is Out There Screaming, which is collected and edited by Jordan Peele, and it is an anthology of Black horror short stories. I am not going to tell you the synopsis of each story, but I will tell you which authors are part of this anthology. We have N.K. Jemisin, Rebecca Roanhorse, Cadwell Turnbull, Leslie Nenka Arima, Violet Allen, Erin E. Adams, Tananarive Due, Justin C. K., Ezra Clayton Daniels, Nnedi Okorafor, L.D. Lewis, Nalo Hopkinson, Maurice Brodus, Rhian Almica Scott, Nicole D. Sconias, Kessia Burke, Terrence Taylor, P. Jelly Clark, and Tochi Onyebuchi. Now, some of these I have read before. Recently read Rebecca Roanhorse. Obviously going to be trying Tananarive Due before I read this probably. I love N.K. Jemisin, she's one of my favourite authors, as is Nnedi Okorafor. I really do like Tochi Onyebuchi's writing, although the books I read from him were YA. So I'm really looking forward to reading something horror by him because his writing style is fantastic. He's also my pick for November's sci-fi book as well. So I'm really hoping that I love this one. And then there are some authors that I'm really excited to try, namely Cadwell Turnbull. He's one whose book I would really like to get to soon. I've got Nalo Hopkinson on here, who again I also need to try. I have tried a novella by P. Jelly Clark, but I do have one of his novels on my TBR. So a lot of authors I'm really excited for on here. So I'm hoping that this is like a really good taste test for authors I've not tried, and just a really nice little like reconnecting with authors that I have previously enjoyed. But there you have it. Those are all of the books that I am planning on reading throughout the month of October. Not all of the books, spin a wheel, but all of the books that I have planned for reading for October. So hopefully there is someone here that you have read and enjoyed, and you can hype up in the comments for me. Let me know if based on any of these books you have any other recommendations for me as well, any other things that you think I should be trying and picking up. That is all from me for today, so thank you ever so much for watching, and I will hopefully catch you in another one soon. Bye!